Another 36 cases of community transmission around the country today. 3 of them in Queensland, where the state's lockdown ended everywhere this evening except the city of Brisbane and Moreton Bay, which will stay locked down for at least 24 more hours to allow for contact tracing.
It is a bit of a mixed bag, but I think if we all do the right thing, we can get through this together.
In New South Wales, where Sydney is halfway through a 14-day lockdown, there were 31 new community infections, bringing the state's total to 263 active cases. Of those new cases, 12 were in the community while infectious.
We're anticipating that there could be an increase in numbers over the next few days. Stay at home means stay at home. Don't leave the house unless you absolutely have to. And please make sure that if you are a worker doing an essential job, that you do not turn up if you have the mildest of symptoms.
In South Australia, just 1 new local case today.
There won't be a further increase in restrictions put in place here in South Australia, but also there won't be a reduction immediately.
To the Northern Territory, where 0 new community cases ended lockdowns for Darwin and Alice Springs at 1 p.m. today.
The thing that really sealed the deal for us is a new round of wastewater testing for Darwin, which has come back negative. The mask rules must be adhered to and the QR codes must be used.
In Perth on day 4 of a circuit breaker lockdown, a single local case has been reported, allowing Perth and Peel to exit lockdown at midnight tonight.
Masks will remain mandatory, as they are now, both indoors and outdoors, and on public transport. We are still asking you to work from home if you are able to. Can I stress, though, that these restrictions are intended to be for the next 3 days only.
Well, to unpack the latest numbers, we're catching up with advisor to the WHO, Professor Mary-Louise McLaws. Mary-Louise, with 31 new cases today, is Sydney's lockdown still on track to end next week, you reckon?
Probably not. It's the key to ending the lockdown with Delta particularly is all around the proportion of cases each day who have not been in lockdown. And so far, there's around 1/3 to 1/2 of all cases that haven't been in isolation, lockdown, and therefore they could have spread it to people they didn't even realise they were spreading it to. So possibly not.
Professor, I hate to ask this, but based on these numbers, does Sydney need more restrictions to get this under control?
Unlikely if all Sydney people take the restrictions seriously. So when you're shopping indoors, if the shop says only 2, please wait outside. And for the shops to keep all their doors and windows open wherever possible. You know, Delta has been described to me by somebody with it like being hit by a bus, and you don't want to be hit by this Delta bus. So please adhere to all of the restrictions and take them seriously.
Now, the PM outlined the plan to get back to normal today. Do you think it's likely the whole country will be vaccinated by the end of the year?
It's great to have a plan. Of course, you do need systems to get that plan fulfilled. And some of the systems, as we know, we need enough vaccine. But what we do need is about 80% of all adult population at least to be vaccinated. And to get that in 6 months, we need to increase by about 30% our injecting rate every day to about 155,000 injections every day, 7 days a week for the next 6 months, and then we will get there.
Prof, just a few days ago, we had hundreds of possible contacts who had flown out of a Northern Territory mine site to cities right around the country. But today, lockdowns ended in most of Queensland, the Northern Territory and WA as well. Have we dodged a huge bullet here?
Well, I think it actually shows that short, sharp lockdowns do work, particularly with this particular variant of concern. So I think they've dodged the bullet, but for the next week, we'll really know if they've dodged the bullet.
All right, Professor Mary-Louise McLaws, thank you so much for your time. It's always good to have your insights with us.
It's always good to be with you. Stay well.
From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.